Well, we have found a video game.
Finally.
Sorry about that delay, guys, but I was having a good time talking about XCOM with my boy.
Yeah.
XCOM's a fun thing to discuss. I still like XCOM 2 a lot more. Just because I think I like the grand strategy part of it more than the grand strategy part. Like the grand strategy part of Chimera Squad, so like the outside tactical, like in-game tactical, I think is fantastic in Chimera Squad. I really like it. But the outside part, the managing your economy and research and that sort of thing, I don't like how it works.
It's not as interesting. It's a bit simplified for sure. I agree with that. I would say I still prefer XCOM 2. I think for a mini game, especially one that they sold so cheap at release and is still pretty freaking cheap.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is actually amazing. And I actually think it's a pretty good entry to XCOM as well, right? And it's different, but it is dumbed down a little bit in some regards. So I don't know. I still a great game. Still bigger fan of XCOM 2. I'm looking forward to the Switch release so I can finally play Shen's Last Gift and stuff, and a few of those DLCs I never got. But anyways, down here in the bottom left-hand side, in the green, getting into a TVT, the American cutest of them all, he's the Cuddlebear.
The cuddliest of bears.
Representing Alpha X.
And the great intro from the wiggliest of pigs. In the top right here, the Polish Terran, still represented by Makers, apparently. This is Sol. I thought Makers pulled out of StarCraft. It's pardon my ignorance there, but it's a double gas opener for both Terrans. And we have already on stream, on my stream at least, we saw a TVT between America and Europe. This is another one of those. We had Vindicta against Marine Lord. Marine Lord's back in StarCraft 2. And Vindicta dispatched him with a 2-1.
Damn.
So,
good shit.
Cuddlebear, once again, I would say that Marine Lord was favored in that series, but Cuddlebear, I would say, is less favored against Sol, because Sol's been very, very active, and he's still very, very high level. You know, this guy he's reached, Sol has reached the 7K MMR club at one point, and Cuddlebear is more of like a 6K-ish player, I would say, maybe just slightly under.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think, I don't know, probably 6'2", 6'2", 6'3". Like, I think Cuddlebear would be Roddy level for sure.
Actually, I might be confused between Cuddlebear and another Terran, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, no, Cuddlebear's very good, and he's had a few hot streaks, but he's nowhere near the consistency of a Vindicta, or definitely not a Future. Obviously, I think Future is overall consistency above Vindicta, obviously. I think above basically all the Terrans in America right now. In USA anyway, obviously Special, is a different class, but there's Future, then there's Special, and then there's a bit of a little bit of a gap, I'd say.
Yeah, Special's he's the guy that's like 6'5" on Korea. It's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, and that MMR means a lot on Korea as well, because Korea and NA have smaller populations, so the MMR tends to not go as high than EU. EU tends to go a bit higher, right? I saw Cyril got a new record recently. Apparently he had another 28 game win streak on ladder and hit a new all-time MMR, 7-5.
Yeah, saw that.
You cannot get 7-5 on Korea. You would need to win like 400 games in a row, getting 1 MMR per game. Like, it's actually, there's just not as much of a population. EU is the most populated server at the high level of StarCraft.
I'm just arguing with chat. Just bear with me. People telling me that the only thing Adelaide has to offer is Hague's chocolates. Strong disagree.
Adelaide's actually an amazing city. I used to shit on Adelaide like 20 years ago as well, guys. Get with the times. It's actually great. They're both going to go for Marine Tank Medevac. Now, I wonder if they siege that on the low ground corner and then drop the Marines on the high ground and go for the add-ons, or is it just a frontal push? Looks like it's going to be frontal from Sol. Cuddlebear also going to go for the front. This is going to get weird very quickly, Maynard. Who wins in the grass? Oh, no. They'll...
Oh,
this is so weird. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cuddlebear is...
he's got another tank.
Bit later on the draw here, so...
Oh, there's a Cyclone at home, though, which I think is actually better than a tank in this scenario, just because of its flexibility. So I actually prefer Sol's position with the Cyclone. We'll see. That tank gets a nice siege up. Hellion does pull back up here.
I am a bigger fan of Sol's maneuvers, just because he hit fast, and also his tank is on that ramp. It's kind of blocking his Marines from running up that ramp. I think the tank's fully blocked it off, but he is still about to supply block Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear is in the main. He's just got Marines and a Reaper remaining with that one low ground tank, shelling away at the add-on here. But that means that Sol is going to have he's going to have a Cyclone in a second, along with the one that he already has. So defensively, I think Sol's a little bit better set up. Cuddlebear has one tank, 4 Marines, and a medevac back at home.
Oh, the Cyclone goes down, though. That tank is actually doing work, and I think Cuddlebear's getting a little out of control. This auto turret's got to kill that tank. Ooh, the Cyclone micro is good. Is it going to survive? Oh, the Cyclone survives, and that does reject it. Well done here. A great hold by Soul, and does end up holding on, of course. 10 SCVs did fall. His tank almost killing the barracks on Cuddlebear's side of the map. This game's got very messy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that, yes, Soul is down a chunk of workers, but he's kind of cleaned up Cuddlebear. Kind of, there's still a medevac here with 2 Marines, but Cuddlebear is still a ways away from cleaning up Soul. He does have that second siege tank, so now with the Viking, he should be able to finally get him out of here.
Yeah, that tank's in range already for Cuddle, so he does clean it up.
Yeah.
All right.
A wild start.
Cyclone shuts down the last 2 Marines. That's a good hold. So no reactor for either player, but we do have a Raven out gathering energy right now for Soul, and a second one in production. That's important. That's the longevity. So Cuddlebear is on 3 tanks though. So he's on 3 tanks, a Viking, 4 Marines. He wants to go do stuff with those tanks. I think Soul has all the tools he needs to stop it, but a Raven is going across the map. His Cyclone, of course, a very fragile unit. He's trying to build a 3rd CC on location. Cuddlebear, if he gets that 3rd CC, that's going to be huge. His 3rd CC in a much more conservative location. Oh, middle of the map. Cyclone gets a lock on.
It does. And that medevac has got quite the expensive payload. 2 tanks within. Soul does lose his Cyclone, and the tank's going to continue to move on forward, forcing Soul to cancel that on location 3rd, which was very, very bold.
Raven harass coming in here for Soul. Cuddlebear needs to react fast. Ooh, not reacting at all. He's focused on the front.
3 SCVs go down. The auto turret going to deny a little bit more mining here. Can Cuddlebear get some counter damage? Actually some nice tank volleys there. Getting a few of those SCVs. Those mineral patches are in position there. That good tank micro on the medevac from Soul.
Cuddlebear might have this, actually. With this siege up on the command center and his own 3rd CC going up uncontested, he goes back to mining in his main. His production is getting up. He's getting a 2nd and 3rd barracks. And that command center, I mean, you can't go back to 1 base right now as Soul, but I think he's got to. His SCV count's just getting ravaged, and those early worker damage, it's added up here for Cuddlebear. Absolutely. He's just going to pull the workers and go for it here, trying to take the tank fire. Drops that auto turret for a little bit extra DPS, brings in another Raven from the south side. My. Is it enough firepower from Soul? I mean, yeah, but... He loses the Ravens, though, as well. Yeah. Oh, man. That's so much damage. No, his 3rd CC's finishing up in the main. I mean, Soul's a hero. He could come back from here, sure. I mean, if someone can do it, it's him. But I don't know if he'll be able to. 3 barracks already getting add-ons. Stims on the way. 3rd command center's there. 47 SCVs. And this is a situation where Cuddlebear is going to be able to get upgrades. He's going to be able to get stim. He lands a Viking in the main for the follow-up, and that's huge. Yeah, this Viking's already got 5 kills. 3 of those are SCVs. And that other one there on the refinery going to be picked off as the Viking leaves the main. Oh, he should die still, but still, you know. Cuddlebear. I love the way the graphic, I don't know if it did the same. It just disappeared. The Viking was confused. The game was like, I don't know if that was a lifted Viking that explodes or a landed one, so I'm just going to make the graphic disappear from the map. Yeah. StarCraft just asked, is that a landed or a lifted Viking? And Soul responded, yes. The game has responded, yes, it is a landed and also lifted Viking at the same time. Let's just make the animation disappear. So we got a Liberator from Soul. 2 libs, actually. He's definitely fighting. Okay, yeah. That's the comeback maneuver, right? This is like the Hail Mary? This is what I do when I'm dead in the water. It's like, I hope you don't realize, and one of these kills 20 workers. If this kills 15 SCVs, I can come back here. Oh, the Marine does see the Viking coming in. So the Viking's nice because it can land on the natural at the same time as the lib hits the 3rd and the main. And, oh, the lib at the 3rd does fly away, but the Vikings actually react towards the main already. Good response so far from Cuddlebear. Vikings at the natural. The lib in the main is going to come back in. The lib at the 3rd, though, not really achieving a lot. There are Vikings over here for Cuddlebear, so he can actually deal with the lib at the 3rd and the one in the main very, very quickly, but he is, of course, having to delay some mining there. Safe to say that this is it's 300 resources per Liberator, so this is very expensive for Soul to do. And I don't believe they've paid for themselves just yet. And I like these sensor towers a lot from Cuddlebear. That's definitely something he has the freedom to get at the moment, as he has that little bit extra cash, whereas Soul can't really afford sensor towers. Sensor towers are really expensive, and he needs to just get those upgrades up and try and catch back up in this game. Soul's going to send a double drop down the right-hand side of the map, but Cuddlebear is ready to push through the middle. He's got the upgrades on the way with the 1-1, the 3 base, 66 workers on the way. This whole base. I mean, what do we got? 3 tanks and a marine for Soul. You see that as Cuddlebear? You're like, lol, really? That's it? All right, I'm doom dropping your main, buddy. You've got nothing. Wait, is he going to drop on the tanks? Oh! NA, baby!
NA in full fashion, and I think it might just work here. 4 tanks is a ton of firepower, and these Marines have shown up as well with Stim. And that is just too much firepower from the American. Cuddlebear takes game number 1 against Soul. Another American upset here. All right.
America, fuck yeah. Cuddlebear taking on Soul. That was actually very nice. Yeah, the tank on the low ground there did a good job. I mean, the Cyclone, it looked good at first, but it was never able to get rid of the medevac for Soul in the main base. And I think that was what ended up costing him there a little bit. Poo-poo does happen, but I guess on top of it in the end. So 2 games here to bring it back. Now with this qualifiers, are the qualifying matches is the whole tournament best of 3, or is it just like the finals that becomes best of 5 with like a 1 map advantage, or is it 2 best of 3s in a row in the final match? Because I know they play to the end, because like the person who actually wins the qualifier gets a bye in the first round of the main tournament or something like that. I can't quite remember how it's exactly
I'm going
set up
to okay, that's the rule book. I don't want the rule book. The ESL bracket page is actually trash. I know I keep saying it, but it's terrible.
It doesn't.
So I'm going to go to
I think it's in the Discord. In fact, if I go to the Discord, I'm gonna.
Liquipedia will be more accurate because it is Superior Brackets page. Team Liquid Star League American server.
Do we have any pins? Nothing's pinned. Oh. What am I doing? It's fine.
It's all of it is best of 3.
Okay, awesome. Cast it.
Yep.
Oh, of course, we're always good. Always. Good luck, have fun, guys. Yeah, you guys don't need to ask us. I swear, I get so triggered when they make me the referee and they're like, we can go now when you're ready, Cast. I'm like, don't give me this level of responsibility or respect. I deserve neither.
Walking into a video game screen with a microphone. Stop giving us responsibilities. You're the players.
Gosh. Kids got to get on top of this shit. Thank you very much, Joshua Taylor Music and Oblivious there for the subs. I appreciate that, guys. All right, it is time for map number 2 on Everdream. Up here in the top right-hand side, representing Alpha Rex. He is an alpha. He's not afraid to give you a good old cuddle and show his emotional side, especially here in this TVT matchup. Definitely cuddled up with that fast tank marine drop. It's Cuddlebear. Cuddle. That's right. Cuddle.
And in the bottom left here, in the red, representing half of his country's flag, it is Soul. Currently down the series against Cuddlebear. And Cuddlebear is, I think, what you refer to a certain type of dude in a certain type of scene.
Yes. Can you be more specific, Maynard?
I could, but I'm not going to be. It means that he is a rather burly, usually relatively hairy person, and sort of like thick, you know, wide and tall, usually.
I see. Maybe a fan of honey.
Yes.
Sometimes disturbs people on picnics.
Yeah, the bear part of Cuddlebear usually refers to the size of the man and also the fact that he's a little bit furry. I
see.
So
Indeed.
I personally would be referred to as a bear if I was in particular scene.
I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could be a fearsome animal. I mean, I am a pig, a wild hog.
Pig,
it's not bad. You get tusks. If you've ever seen like little wild boars and piglets and wildebeests, like evading lions, they are fast, man. Little piggies get real fast.
That's the thing though. Like a pig is a broad term. There are some terrifying pigs and some not very terrifying at all pigs. It's the same as saying cats.
Yeah.
You know, there's tiny little street cats that are the size of your hand, and then there's a fucking lion, which is like the biggest cat you could possibly get. So
that's true.
The spectrum of pig. Where are you? Are you a wild boar? Are you those little pink piglets that will run around and indoor pets? Like which kind of pig are you? Would you?
Well, if I just quickly consult my MySpace profile from 2005, it does say that I have an eclectic taste. So I think maybe I'm a bit of both. You know, sometimes I'm feeling like a big wild boar is ready to gore King Robert and fuck his shit up and lead to chaos and dissent and all sorts of crazy shit and bad things happening for Ned Stark. Other times I'm a cute little domesticated piggo, a little teacup piggo. Little pink and cute and snorty. You know, my favorite unit in Warhammer as well, random tidbit, I loved boar boys, you know, orcs with big ass spears riding on big battle hardened boars. To me, that's pretty friggin' badass as well. One of my favorite units in the Orc and Goblins army. So, yeah. I like the wild boars, but I can be sensitive as well. I'm not afraid to, you know, indulge and embrace both sides of my personality, Maynard.
Hell yeah. A great rundown there for Pig.
Speaking of rundowns, how's this TVT going? It looks like Hellion opening versus a more conservative Cyclone Rush from Sol. So Sol wants to be the defender. Cuddlebear wants to get some aggro. Do you think we'll see a Hellion drop or maybe a Lib syncing up with it?
I mean, the starport's about to marry up with the tech lab, and that from Cuddlebear seems pretty deliberate. So I think it's actually just maybe straight into a Raven just with a gas count here. I don't think it's a medevac. I'd be surprised if it was. Lib, okay. Interesting.
Someone in chat's asking if there's a way to get both streams visible.
Yeah, he's asking me as well.
I don't know how you do that, but hopefully someone in chat can help out in Viable.
Yeah,
someone who knows how to get the multi-Twitch working to show both. Cyclones here. Big Daddy says, get wrecked.
Yeah, that is a big problem here for the early game army of Cuddlebear.
Does break the lock on though.
He does, yeah.
Like
Reapers and Hellions are good against Reapers and Hellions, but not so much. Oh, these SCVs are on auto repair, and they're kind of not mining right now for Cuddlebear. It's a lot of SCVs not mining.
Yeah, I mean, it was on purpose at first because there was a Reddit point Hellion that got back, but a few seconds extra. I mean, I think it's because he wanted to hit this timing. He wants to run over there and try to do some damage. Soul's going to the high ground though, and if he has that tanks, if he's caught in the open, it's bad. Oh, the Hellions line up and take a triple splash there. Soul's gonna get back to the high ground. Run!
Yeah, that tank is even like, normally a tank would be fantastic against Hellions, but it is a little exposed. The Marine's taking a lot of splash damage there, and the Liberator of Cuddlebear heads towards the main base of Soul, where there is nothing that shoots up. This Cyclone has to move to intercept.
Oh, good D by Soul, though. This is really good hold. This was a big investment, man. It's a very big investment. I mean, he gets a couple of dudes. The Hellions pick off a few Marines, bit of mining time. But I think with the Ravens out, one Raven out, another one on the way, you know, I feel like this is okay for Soul. Obviously, the SCV production for Cuddlebear is just out of this world, though.
Oh, but as far as production goes, he's supply blocked Piggly Wiggly. He has to drop some depot hats down.
Part of the build, Maynard. Perfect supply drop timing. It's totally efficient. Don't point out these players' mistakes. Fear Dragon sad. He's like, Cuddlebear doesn't make mistakes. No. Cyclone Jewel in the middle. They will both die.
Third base gets killed, not cancelled as well, by the way. Cuddlebear actually just killed Soul's third.
So we got to stop doing that, dude. Stop building that shit on location, man. You can't.
And he goes back again. Phase 2 of the plan.
This is like, Soul has some weird habits like that, where like if he feels like, I took a little more damage than I want, I need to make up for it with this move. But he'll almost reliably go for it. So I feel like players who know Soul's habits can take advantage of that stuff. And, you know, like even now, he could pick off that SCV again. It would be a big delay on Soul's third, which he does not want. Meanwhile, third CC is almost finished. Cuddlebear just went double Raven. They both went double Raven. So triple Raven, not as common these days. Of course, does depend on the openings. And the double eBay is now on the way for Cuddlebear as well. Still up 7 SCVs. In terms of the unit count, a tank advantage goes to Soul. Marine advantage and the 2 Hellions do go for Cuddlebear. And once again, delaying that third CC. Unnecessary damage here. I've got to be critical. Got to be critical of this.
Yeah, that's very, very annoying here for Soul, who had the better economy at one point, but has been taking a little bit too much damage and has been intimately building SCVs as well. So he's not in a wonderful spot economically. These 2 Hellions, and it's not an investment from Cuddlebear. Like, it's just a handful of Hellions. 5 kills on one, 3 on the other. And just because Soul keeps building the CC on location and keeps having his army floating between the third and the natural, and it's not a fast army either. Doesn't have stem or anything like that.
The air battle is going to be very decisive in the next fight in this game. And right now, Soul is ahead on that. So as much as we're talking about how good Cuddlebear's position is, not missing a beat on Viking production, and I wouldn't even mind a 7th and 8th Viking here for Soul. So if he can win the air battle, I mean, he's already been up 1 tank, now 2 tanks. So actually, Cuddlebear missing tank production. Stim, 1-1 are on the way. They're not ready just yet. And we're not at a critical mass of Marines. I think 2 minutes from now, being a few Vikings ahead, not as big of a deal because it's more about the Marine count. But right now, we do have a bit of a unit advantage for Soul and more Vikings rallying out to join up. If he can initiate this engagement well, that's going to go awesome. The sensor tower is not ready just yet. Cuddlebear's going to be surprised.
These tanks are almost in position, but not quite. So in comes Soul with a surprise attack, and I mean, this happens so often in TVT, and I can attest to this as a Terran player, that if your opponent just surprises you with a siege tanks that are in range of your third base, you are in trouble. Those Ravens are so important here for Cuddlebear to get rid of these tanks, but that's where these Vikings come in from Soul. You can just pluck those Ravens out of the sky if they get too close. So Cuddlebear's actually just pulling out of this. He's taking the third, he's lifting it up, going to top it up with a few hit points, but just pull back and go for a big counterattack.
A few SCVs go down. A few Marines do try to rally in, but Soul says, oh, you're just counterattacking? F you. You can't hold on with one siege tank. A quick unsiege and an evac from Cuddlebear. The command center's very low, though, and it does go down to the Vikings. Oh, he stims it on the other side. Interference matrix on the tank. Cuddlebear's trying to breach the ramp right now. The Marines, another tank is out here for Soul. He's got to siege it up, and he does very far back. It looks like Soul will hold on to his production.
Yeah, having that tank in the main is absolutely massive. Soul's coming back with his army. He's still taking damage back at home, though. Soul bleeding out a ton of units here.
Uh-oh.
Cuddlebear.
This is crazy right now. Cuddlebear, he's sieging forward. He's got 3 Marines. If he gets rid of that tank, he's on top of the factory. The army comes back. The tanks, the Ravens, the Vikings, they do manage to clean this up, but not before a lot of SCVs have gone down. Just 40 SCVs versus 64. And Soul there, I mean, he had a nice push, but he just wasn't able to stop the counter push.
Oof. 26 SCVs have died, and while both of them have lost a command center, or rather had their command centers lifted, Cuddlebear lost his third, Soul's got lifted, so it's being pulled out of location. Big supply block for Soul at the moment on 85 because he's been losing depots. And damn, dude, I gotta say, I like Cuddlebear's situation a lot more. He is up a ton of workers, even though he doesn't have that third to mine from. Once the third is done, he's going to have a big mining advantage. He's not too far away from having it. And he still has enough in the bank to keep up his production as well, which is also just as important.
Yeah, he's slightly ahead in army at the same time, right? So, I mean, he gets momentum, and then a minute from now when that CC's landed, third SCV count is going to give him a crazy income boost. So, he doesn't actually need to do damage right now. This is just a bonus for Cuddlebear. He needs to just not get his army destroyed, and 38 Marines to 11. Soul has no mobility. He's only got the tanks keeping him alive in this game, and I think Cuddlebear realizes...
He's going for the main. The main is very exposed here. If he can get all these 3 siege tanks set up with a ball of Marines around them, this is devastating for Soul.
That's it. You can't break that. There's no way. You don't have enough interference matrices. You can't get up there. Oh,
yeah, he gets 2 tanks, but that's it.
The Vikings come in, but the Marines do a great job guarding against that. The interference matrix is going to wear off right now, and he maintains position. Can he get rid of the tanks? The Vikings forced to land, but that's where Cuddlebear's Marines suddenly become super alpha. Take out every Viking, every Raven, and you go, hey, you kept your production, you're alive, Soul. Your Ravens are gone, your Vikings are gone. Your opponent has more economy, he's got more workers, he's got better upgrades on the way, and he's continuing to drop, continuing the aggression. Cuddlebear, this is very sick to see. He is in a commanding position in this game.
I mean, he's like a dog with a bone, man. He's throwing away a lot of resources at Soul, but he's trading well enough with it. Like, even if he's trading slightly worse, it doesn't matter because he's richer. And he's way richer, and he has way more income now that that third is down. Seeing the incomes jump up for him here is that third base gets saturated. 37 SCVs on that mineral line. And a mule as well for posterity. I mean, that is just a ton more mining gear for Cuddlebear.
Desperate Doom Drop coming across the map, but there's 2 turrets up on that side guarding the production. And he's got a lot of Marines and tanks at home. So Soul's going to come in with a Desperate Doom Drop into a turret, a pack of stemmed Marines, and a siege tank.
Nope.
No.
No. The tank's getting target fired by the Marines there off Cuddlebear. 1 tank survives. The Marine still survive from Soul. He's going to do whatever he can. There is an in-base tank already, really getting into that Marine count. And that's going to be 2 Marines and 1 tank remaining here for Soul's Doom Drop. And killing some of these SCVs, not a big problem for Cuddlebear. His production will be able to deal with this. And he still holds on to a massive worker lead.
2 Marines and a siege tank. It's kind of funny. It's being annoying. It's hard to deal with. The Marines guarding it. The tank's still alive. Cuddlebear's like, what the hell, man?
A little bit here with his defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's very excited. He's about to beat Soul. He's about to 2-0 Soul at a TVT, man. That's not meant to happen. This is insane.
Yeah.
You know, I think
the drop in the main base.
The Americans, I think, are a bit mad about Roddy beating Neeb, and I think they're like, nah, we gotta put some on the board, man. We gotta get the NA pride going. We can't have a European caster beat our best player. We're gonna take some names, man.
As soon as Roddy beat Neeb, all of a sudden Future wins a Pro Tour Weekly, and everything starts to come up front. I mean, we had Vindicta beating Marine Lord earlier, Cuddlebear on the precipice for 2-0 against Soul, who's, someone in chat was like, Illegal Act, they were like, who's favored here? I don't really recognize Cuddlebear. And they're like, oh, Illegal Act says that Soul is slightly favored. And I'm like, slightly favored? I would very heavily favor Soul here, but it is a very different scenario we're watching right now. A weird scenario, in fact, with a big counterattack on both sides. Both players about to take some incredible damage.
Besu Tradu, Maynard. We are going to see some absolute madness here. Cuddlebear hasn't changed his rally to his main yet. Oh, he's got to fix that rally point. Meanwhile, Soul doing a good job of getting some defense together at home. It will not be enough. His production will get cracked. He's got to break him on the other side. Cuddlebear, his single tank doing some big damage, but it will go down.
It will indeed. He's Marines and he's SCVs buffering here. He's got SCVs to burn because Soul is down to 8. Cuddlebear still has 30 odd to throw away. Is this enough, though?
Oh, my God.
The ground in the main base.
Okay, he's got to pull back now. 36 SCVs get thrown into the meat grinder. Operation Human Shield is an unmitigated failure.
He boosted a tank and a medevac to the back line of his main. Oh, no, he's not controlling it anymore.
Oh,
Taliban needs to siege that up.
Yeah, he sieged it a little late. It gets only one shot off, but that was a big shot. It was enough.
Yeah, middle of the pack. And that's it. Amazingly. And he dropped some mules as well. Oh my God. Cuddlebear with a 2-0 on Soul. What an upset. That's so sick.
Cuddlebear is so good, man. I think it was one of the Montreals. He had a sick run through the lower bracket. I hope I'm not getting him confused. I'm pretty sure it was Cuddlebear. I think it was last Montreal. I think it was the one before that. Where he just like cleansed the lower bracket, He just went straight through that shit like a hot knife through butter, beat like 10 people in a row in the elimination bracket. That's what it's called, not the lower bracket. The good old elimination bracket that came into WCS recently.